Can I have a few minutes of your attention? I want to talk to you about something that's actually, I think, very, very important to the real estate community. So right now, there is already passed committee a bill, SB 1068, and the bill is to amend the Broker Relationship Act, and the bill will require real estate licensees to get an agreement signed that discusses to see the house, to see the property, and also discuss compensation. And many of you real estate agents, realtors, are probably saying to yourself, well, that's already a rule. No, it's a rule if you're part of the National Association of Realtors, which I firmly, 100%, I'm okay with. I agree with. I actually think it's a good rule because as an association, we should be held to a higher standard than a standard licensee. Being that right now, to explain the buyer brokerage service agreement, it requires a level of sophistication. It requires a level of knowledge about the buyer brokerage service agreement. It requires an above average level of service to provide to a client and explaining that service. And I'm good with that. Where my concern is if this becomes a law, being that we are putting a bar, we are setting a fence in front of a consumer product, a service provided that I know of no other industry in Oklahoma that states if you want to see a product, if you want to know to see have a service, that you have to agree in writing a legal contract, agree to pay something just to see it. There's no car dealership that you go to that before you see a car that you have to sign a document legally binding yourself to that sales rep. There's no store that I know of when you walk in to view a TV that you have to sign an agreement before you see the TV that makes you say that what you're going to pay that person. And I think that, right now as an association, we have an amazing ability to discuss it and show it and do above normal when a normal licensee is required. A normal licensee is not required to get a buyer brokerage service agreement. But as part of the Association of Realtors, we are. Boom, let's keep that. Let's keep that level of sophistication. If this becomes law, I think two things are going to happen, if not three. Number one, the biggest is I think that once we create something that tells the public, you have to go through this in order to see a product, they're going to find a way to go around us. And I think it'll be the beginning of the end of what we do, because the public will find a way to buy and sell real estate without having to sign a document to see a property. I think they'll do it. Two, I think that the National OA, the Real Estate Commission, will become the teeth of this. The amount of complaints that the commission receives from the public versus from other agents, they're not on scale. The majority of complaints received are agents against agents. And the commission is there to protect the public from real estate agents, not to handle disputes. I personally think, unfortunately, I think the amount of complaints that that the real estate commission will receive about commissions will be astronomical, because I think agents will be turning agents in because it is so easy, and they'll be forced to investigate every single one of them. So I think that will go up. And the second biggest, honestly, I would have to say is I believe that we will actually lower the bar of sophistication it takes to explain the buyer broker service agreement, which is why I think we'll do away with us as an industry, because now we have to explain it. Now we have to have the skill level in explaining it. And I'm sure many of you who are very good at it have probably picked up buyers, won clients, because somebody else tried to explain it, did a horrible job. You did a good job. They understood and you won the client. However, now, if it becomes law, it's no longer about sophistication. It's no longer about how well you explain it. An agent will simply have to say, when a client says, why do I have to sign this? We'll just say, it's the law. The Real Estate Commission requires that you sign this. We don't need to go into all the sophistication. And if you don't believe me, think about how many times with the current contracts that we have, the current rules that we have, that when the public asks us, why do we have to do this? Our response is oftentimes because it's the law. I use the example, I was talking to somebody about it earlier, and someone looks at me and goes, hey, let's just take that. I don't say, well, let me explain to you penal code, blah, 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 and why, blah, 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 and it's illegal. I don't have to get exquisite. I just say, that's a crime. That's illegal. I don't commit crimes. It's removed the sophistication of explaining certain things. I believe that this passes as a law. Number one, the public will find a way around us because they're not going to want to sign agreements without sophistication of committing themselves to see something. Number two, I think that complaints will increase at the commission. That's just my personal viewpoint on it. And number three, like I said, we're going to dumb down our industry, and we're just going to say it's the law. So hopefully we can keep this as an association rule so we can better advance our association, better advance what we do, and stand above people who are not a part of the National Association of Realtors. And hopefully we won't create a fence, a bar, something that the public has to adhere to because of our rulings. Let's not be the first industry who requires our clients to legally, as in it's a crime not to. And if you have a second, let me give you one example if you're still hanging on, which is, could you imagine getting a phone call on a weekend and it's a family member, say it's a brother or sister, and they call you up and they say, hey, I just saw this house across the street when I was driving down. I'd love to get in and see the pool. And without thinking, you might not be thinking, oh, I need to get a buyer broker service agreement, because you're thinking, that's my brother, it's my sister, it's my family member, it's my mom. So you go over and you show that house. And you show it to, and it's a lister show, and the listing agent is there, and in the conversation, your sister says, or your brother says, oh yeah, we just saw the house. I called my sister, and she, that's why she ran over here to show it to us real quick. Thank you so much. And she just says, oh, that's so great. So, did you get a service agreement? And, she's like, oh no, we haven't even gone there. I just wanted to see the house. And it's just casual conversation. You just broke the law. Yes. Did you violate an association rule? Yes. Does that violate our what we're held to? It does. But you didn't break the law. If this becomes a law, in that moment, you committed a crime. You broke the law. You broke an Oklahoma law by showing your family member a house. You didn't make a mistake with the ruling. You broke the law. I don't think we should make this a law. Let's be better than that. The Real Estate Commission sets the lowest standard for a licensee. The National Association raises the bar. Let's keep our bar raised without having to get the law involved. Thank you if you held on this long. I super appreciate it. Message me, comment. Would love to know your thoughts on it.